We are on
Hola, people. We're on
number three.
number three. Today we get to know. Well, welcome everyone back to our Chew the Fat. Look at that. Look at us. So professional.
We are very professional.
We're so professional. Welcome
Yeah.
everyone to Chew the Fat episode 3. Today we will get to know about Willie Lee,
Willie
aka
Lee.
Coach B.
Hey, sponsored by LaCrux. Some people
Oh,
call it LaCroix.
some people call it LaCroix.
hmm
I'm not. I have no sponsors today. No
None,
sponsor. None.
non-label. You're still open. You're a free agent.
Gooder. Maybe that's gonna be my sponsor.
That
Gooder.
really should be your sponsor. I thought
Gooder
about that.
is my sponsor. That's it. I make no money out of them, but if you have a sunglass that you want to buy, you buy from Gooder. They
Gooder.
are the best.
I like them. I have one pair left without scratches from my. They seem to get scratched up quite a bit.
I'm sure it's the sunglass fault.
Yes. Yeah. That the well, yes,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
my fault.
Uh-huh.
No.
So there you go, folks. You already know a facet of Willie Lee. It's
Yeah.
usually never his fault. So
No.
there you go.
No,
Already
really.
knowing him, already getting to know him.
That's about all we need right there. I'm good.
Tell us all about you, Willie Lee.
So when I was in the
Start with
fourth
the most
grade,
important.
no, I'm kidding. Where do you want me to start? Let's see.
Start with what was the thing? Like why fitness?
Oh, fitness.
All right.
All right. So
What was
I played
what was
sports
the
growing
thing that
up.
clicked it? Yeah.
I played sports growing up. I was from a small town up in Minnesota. That's up by Canada. You know where Canada is?
Yes.
And then, so it's up there. Canada is like the loft apartment above a really good party.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what that is.
They say
and-
sorry a lot.
Sorry. Hey, take off, eh? They
I
say
don't
that
think
a
that
lot.
helps our Canadian listeners.
You think there's any Canadians
I
listening?
mean, there's at least one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who's Canadian? Oh, hey, take off, eh? All right, anyways. So I'm from Minnesota, small town. So up there, like going through high school and going through school, you could play pretty much any sport. We just played all seasons. So if it's snowing, I played basketball. I didn't wrestle. One time I went out for wrestling and I remember, I don't know how old I was, but a kid choked me out and I walked out and I'm like, no, I am not doing this. And he didn't even get in trouble. That's like what he was supposed to do. I was laying on the mat. There's like 50 kids all over and this kid's choking me. And
No one is doing anything about it.
not a thing. I'm like looking around, gasping for air. I got out of there. I said, Dad, I am not doing that. Find basketball. So, yeah, I don't even know why I tried that. But so then I started just playing basketball, baseball, and football. It's just kind of what we did up north. And now being down here in Florida, having kids go through the school system, they got to like pick one sport. It seems like, and then they get in this whole matrix. Anyways, but I digress. So I played sports growing up. We had a weight room in our high school, and it was just in the back, and it had the old school huge speakers, that stand like 4 feet high, cranking them on there. People in there with their sleeveless shirts just cut off. And I do not think we had any lifting coach whatsoever. Just someone would open the door and they say, go in there and lift. And I did not go in there because only people who like squatted a ton and who were already like really huge. And I was very small in school. Like when I was 16, I weighed like 125 pounds was on my driver's license. I think I graduated. I was a senior at like 145 pounds. I was not the biggest guy out there. And so anyways, playing sports, I went in the weight room a little bit more during my junior, senior year, and never squatted because that thing scared me. I just basically did curls, bench press, some leg extension, maybe leg curls, something like that. But it was
Need some
fun.
bro routine.
Yeah, no idea what to do. But I did notice even through that, like my basketball season, baseball, like throwing, it got better the stronger I got. So that was cool. But that was the extent of my lifting. I had a little weight set in the basement at home, but really just benched, pull downs,
Bro,
yeah, stuff like that. Went through that. Went into, so got out of high school into college. I went to a JC college, junior college.
Mhm.
And then I played basketball there, sort of. So I started playing basketball and I was always used to starting. So then I was not going to start on this team, but I was playing. And just one day I decided I'm not going to do this. And that was probably one of the main decisions that I regret. Or if I look back, like, what was I doing? So, anyways, we had a scrimmage the next day and we were all hanging out. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do this. And they were like, what? So I didn't even get on the bus. I went to the coach and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to play because I didn't think I was very good at that time.
yeah.
I wasn't used to not starting. So then I found myself fast forward down in Florida. I moved to Florida years later. And I got to a point, I was living with family members down here in Florida, and I was still eating as much as I wanted, drinking at that point.
Like an athlete.
Yeah, like I was still burning stuff. And it turns out if you do that and you are not active, you can get fat. Yeah. So overweight. Oh, and I wouldn't even play intramurals. I wouldn't play any other sports because I was still too close to. I stopped watching football, basketball, baseball because then I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And I thought like intramurals, anything that wasn't sanctioned was like dumb. Like why do it? That was really not. That was not smart. Don't do that. Kids, stay in school. Stay in the sport, even if you're not good. Just go. But anyways, so I went with my sister. We joined a gym. It was, do you remember Bally's? Have you ever heard of that? So that was like the old school. Anyways, it was Bally's Fitness. We had a membership together and we went in, we started working out. But this time we got trainers. So then I started hiring personal trainers because I had the same thing. I was just benching and doing curls. There's got to be, I got to figure this out. And then I had one personal trainer who, outside of the cool reps, sets, because basically all the movements, there's only so many movements you can push, pull, lift.
Right.
Anyways, he got actually into my life, like my lifestyle, like outside the gym. I was like, what? You're getting a little personal here. What are you doing? And so we would go out to eat for like lunch because there was like these, I had a lot of time on my hands as well.
Yeah.
And he was a really cool dude. So when we would go eat, he would order like healthy stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? So I just figured he just looked like that just all the time. But turns out he actually ate healthy and lived a lifestyle like that. So that was something new to me. And I entered in, are you familiar with Body for Life? Bill Phillips? Old school. How old are you? You're so young.
I'm from Brazil.
Okay.
That works for you?
That works.
Okay.
No, I didn't mean to ask you how old you were or how young you were. So forget that. Anyway, so I'm
from Brazil.
Yeah, but he was pretty Popular.
Not in Brazil.
All you guys over 40, you know what I'm talking about. Bill Phillips, Body for Life. Anyways, I bought a book and it had all the transformation, the transformation contests
Uh-huh.
that you love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it. The best.
So this was before smartphones, but probably before Facebook. I don't even know.
It's probably for pagers too.
Pages. No, I had a pager. I had actually a flip phone. Okay. At this time, I was like
Cool.
on. Yeah, I was cool. So it's a 12-week transformation. I bought his book. It has a bunch of stories in there, and then you can win money, the first prize, stuff like that. So then I talked to the trainer and I said, hey, I think I want to do this. And I don't remember how heavy I was then. But remember, so say I graduated from high school at like 145. So if I was anywhere near 200 pounds,
that's a lot.
Or something like that. And I wasn't lifting. Lifting was not part of my lifestyle.
Right.
So you could imagine, the form of my body was not like the coolest,
And it's a shock, right? For you, like going from 140 to 200, it's like.
Yeah. And that was over time. So I don't know how old I was at this point, 20 something, maybe 21, 22. I don't know. But yeah, I had gained like a lot of weight. And so we did the transformation. We did the whole entry, the whole journal. You write essays. Anyways, it was like my lifestyle. And I had time and space for it as well, for whatever. And it pretty much changed my life. So I did very well in it. I didn't even send in my pictures at the end, because I saw the other pictures. Anyways, I just figured I wouldn't win, but I was like happy with what happened. And but I did all the essay, wrote everything, did the befores, did the afters. We even went out and like towards the end when you do like diuretics, water takeaway, and we went for like an actual photo shoot. It was the whole thing.
Deep in the woods.
Yeah, I was out there.
Yeah.
However, by doing that, it was really fun. Like the whole process, learning to like weigh your food, log it. Oh, that was before like MyFitnessPal. Yeah. I wrote everything down, and then you had to add up. So back in the day, you had to add your own numbers up to figure out how many calories you had, proteins, fats, carbs,
and
everything.
The kids these days thinks they have it bad.
Oh so my goodness. Oh man. I even fall into that. Well, I guess I kind of understand a little bit now, but I can't believe I sat and did all that. I still have like the book, the journals. And so I did that. And then that's pretty much when I figured out, it's like, because he changed my life.
Yeah.
Getting into my life. And then I really liked working out. So then that was kind of like my sport. Because I was like, I wasn't going to go anywhere playing basketball, football. Even at that time, I knew that that's just playing. But when I was working out, I just knew inside, I was like, oh, I could like just do this.
Yeah.
And I had no clue how to do personal training or anything. But that's when I decided. So then I got connected with this other guy who was a top trainer in there. And then he had left and he was out, and then he was running certification courses for personal trainers. So then I connected with him and I said, I'm going to be a personal trainer. And I was going to work with this guy that had just coached me. We were going to start our own company.
Yeah.
But I needed the certification to start. So then I went for that. It was just a weekend course, and it was local because Orlando, you can pretty much find anything here in Orlando. So I went to that. And then the things that he taught me in that class, outside of the anatomy, physiology, the stuff that you have to answer on the test, but the stuff that he was teaching was just like practical application, like things I could just do on Monday. And it was so cool. And just like any test though, I was like so nervous. You're just worried about the test. You're asking, so is this on the test?
Right.
And he would just be like, just chill out. don't worry about that. Like, let's focus here. Um, but that was very cool. So then after that, I got like my certification, then we got insurance, and then we started a company right away. And then we started doing health and wellness for Orlando Utilities Commission, OUC, here in Orlando. And that was pretty cool. Like looking back, that was bigger than what I had thought. I just didn't know any different at
Right.
that time. It's like, oh, well, let's just do that. And so then we trained there. They have like 4 or 5 sites here in Orlando. So then we were the on-site trainers, driving like butt crack of dawn before people were on their shift.
Right.
Then at a different facility for like during lunch, and then after work at a different facility, all over the place. But it was really cool. So I was like earning a living doing that. That lasted for a couple of years. Then we moved to one location. We went into, Gold's Gym, right? That you do know. So there was a Gold's Gym, and we just moved there. We decided to stop the corporate wellness and then move to one location. So then we were inside of a Gold's Gym, just paying rent.
Yeah.
And the type of training that we were doing was like 30-minute, you could call it like HIT fit, basically like circuit training, selectorized equipment, higher intensity,
Yeah.
bing, bang, boom. They would warm up, try to, like before our sessions. So when they're with us, we're not like stretching them.
Yeah.
We're not like, we're just working. And I did that because I believed in it, because that's like how I changed as well, right? It wasn't just the phase or the hot thing.
Yeah.
So anyways, I believe that's why we were pretty successful, or why I was able to work with the clients that I was, because it was like something that I did, right? So then we moved from there. Then we got to a point, we had worked for many years together. And then I remember it's like, hey, I think I can do this on my own. Should we just like split or what? And so then that ironically, that just ended real fast. so we were done. And then there was another studio, Gold's Gym, like on the other side of town. So, this is funny. They don't have this anymore, or they may not. So back then you could just pay rent. You would lease,
Uh-huh. The space.
and
Yeah.
you just pay up front. And kind of like hairdressers used to do the same thing. They would rent chairs.
Yep.
So this happened within, say, like 7 days. I spoke to him about it. I was like, hey, we could maybe like split ways or whatever. But he wasn't down with us being in the same building. And there was yeah. So there's nothing technically he could do about it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like not into that whole
Yeah.
turf scene. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
So I went to this other guy, and he had been helping me coach and learn like a new protocol as well. So I went down to the other gym, like across town, and he goes, and there's a studio in there. And he said, you can work in there. You're going to have to bust it to get clients, because not all these people are going to drive across Orlando. He goes, so walk in there, go up to the front desk. They don't know anything. Pay for a month's rent and say, I'm a new trainer. I'm in the back studio, and just pay before you meet the manager, anything. Then you're like in the system and you can train there. So I was like, what? But like my life was on the line. I was earning my income. Like I had to do something. So I drive down that day, and I walk in, and I just go up to the front desk. I go, hey, I'm a trainer in the back there for the studio. They had so it was in another Gold's Gym. That's why it was like still the same owner ish. And so I walk in there, paid my rent, I had no clients that were guaranteed to come over. And then I called him. I'm like, hey, I did it. I paid. He goes, all right, you're in. Start the consultations. And so I think it was like that night I had called a couple people. They came in for consultations. So I'm up in the front on these tables, like when people are coming in. And at that point, I wanted everyone to see me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm here. So I'm doing consultations up front as people are coming in Gold's Gym, and I could see like the manager and the other like head trainers like looking at me, and I'm sweating because they're like big people. They're like Gold's Gym, like big lifters. I've never been that. So after the people that I talked to, they come over to the table. They're like, hey, who are you? And I stood up, I introduced myself. I'm like, oh, I'm one of the trainers back here. I'm a lease trainer. And she's looking at me. I'm like, yeah, I already paid. So I'm back there. she goes, okay. Well, we don't really do that anymore, but okay. And that's how I got in. And then I was there for the remainder of my like personal training
Oh, wow.
career. It was crazy. So, but at that time, I moved into, have you ever heard of Super Slow,
No.
a protocol?
No.
Have you heard of anything
But
that I've been involved
I'm
in?
imagining what it is. I
Yeah.
can like
So they did,
pretty obvious what it is.
yeah. So a guy, Ken Hutchins, who is the founder of that, actually happened to be living in Altamont at that time.
Okay.
And the other guy that was helping me, that helped me get into the studio, was training under him. So we got to go to like his office and his office is all this like selectorized equipment. It's like Med-X equipment,
Yeah.
homemade. And it was really cool. So we got to study underneath him, the guy that wrote the manual, total nerd, science dude. But that was a special time for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then I stayed in that protocol for years. And then we just worked out of that small studio. So ironically, fast forward, like when I met you, I'm coaching CrossFit.
Right.
And literally everything that I was selling and speaking against is what I'm doing. Total mind shift. But at that time, I was not doing box jumps because I had I could probably still fall into that and I still believe it. However, that was like one avenue of strength, of fitness. And I think it's such a niche thing that it really fit that like clientele. So there was a lot of business guys who they don't have time to like go mess around or think about getting hurt.
Right.
So anyways, that's
awesome.
That was a long, quick story of fast forward. That's how I started training.
And then why you started CrossFit though?
So I would have stayed in that studio probably forever. I was doing well. And then let's see, timeline. Well, I met my wife there. So she started training. And at some point through that, I don't think maybe we were married. We might've been married. Anyways, the gym sold, like the whole shell of Gold's Gym to Lifestyles. And these guys come in the back of the studio, like Men in Black mafia guys, huge, strong guys in black like shirts, like a team of them just come into the studio. They open up, they're like, hey, they're standing there like this. They're like, hey, we own this place now. You guys have 30 days to either get out or become employees of Lifestyle Family Fitness. We're like, what? So anyway, so then they close the door, they leave, like we finished training and there's like 3 trainers in there.
They did to you what you did with the managers from Golden. Ironic.
Weird. That is so weird. I never thought of that. Totally never thought of that. So yeah, well, they come in and boom, they give us like just that. And man, I must have been married because Anastasia, like, she drove around with me to like find another place. And so I had, anyways, we had 30 days and there was no way we were going to be an employee because that would have been, I couldn't afford it to live like the way that they paid and stuff. It may be different now. I have no idea. But at that time, it was not going to work. And then I don't know, maybe like 2 miles away, a small Anytime Fitness just opened up and they were looking for 4 trainers, 2 males, 2 females. And I don't know how we found that, but I called them. And obviously, I had enough clients to say, these guys will come with me and they'll all get memberships. So he was like, okay, come in. And then my rent was like, even, I think it was like way less than half of what I was already paying.
Oh, wow.
So it was good for me. However, it took me out of the whole flow of like what I did and I kind of got deflated. And then, oh yeah, we were married. And then like not long after that, then well, my wife got pregnant, not me. And then, oh, here's something awesome. So you know what I did? So I'm training, she's teaching. And I decide, well, if we're going to have a baby, I should quit training and go get a real job and make more money so that I can be home with my family and kids. But I mean, it made sense at the time.
Yeah.
So,
Total sense though. It does make sense.
so what I do is I go from fitness training. There's a bunch of avenues you could have went in the fitness industry. So then I go into life insurance. So I know nothing about insurance, like nothing. So I had to learn the vocabulary.
You're a good salesperson.
Sales, fine. But life insurance, it was so funny. So my wife was, she would let me just be alone in our extra room and I would study for hours because I didn't even know vocabulary, right? Of like to take this test. I had to go get my insurance license.
Yeah.
Fast forward, I get it. It's the worst 8 months of my life. I went and I got another car because I had to have a cool car because all I did was drive around. So we sold our 88 Jeep Wrangler, which was amazing. And because I couldn't
That's the
have.
coolest part.
Yeah, it was like looking back, we should have kept that. Sold that, went into insurance, hated it. Worst time of my life. But then that's what got us into, it's like, hey, if we're going to like do this, now my son is born. Check this out. My son was about to be born, or he was just born, and I just quit my job. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And she was on board too. Like, obviously, I talked to her, and she's like, yeah, this is horrible. Stop. And so then I had a son with no job. And then my wife is on leave from teaching. So that was really smart. We're amazing. But I don't know. It's just like when you're in the moment, it did, obviously. And then when you're in the moment, though, when you're that miserable, you just gotta get out. So, anyways, I did, and then we were sitting one night, in our room, I guess, with Gabe, our son, whatever, and we're like, what are we doing? Like, are we just gonna like try to find something to work to pay the bills for the next month to turn around and then find something to do to just pay the bills for? Anyways, it's like if we're already struggling, let's struggle doing something that like we want to do.
Right.
And then actually this was a big turning point. We found out we both like always thought about missions or traveling or just going into third world countries and helping people. But I come from no history of anyone in my family ever doing that. Same with her. And but that's what we decided we were going to do. And we were so excited, but we literally had no idea what we were doing. So we decided we needed to have our own business. We needed to be a family of missions and travel. And so fast forward through that year. So that was 2010. by 2011 January, we were gone, and then we were in missions, and so many like small cool things happened along the way. But that was like two people. We just decided, undecided, are like unwavering heart, and then boom,
Right.
we're gone. So then we went into that not knowing what we were going to do. Turns out they had the missions group we went with had a sports and fitness ministry, and we had no idea.
That's
So
awesome.
then in 2011, we're running soccer camps, um, basketball camps. We're joining gyms in Bethlehem, the West Bank, Israel, like all of those places. We were doing fitness with like total random people. Our team raised money to give, or raise money. We just had money shipped over, whatever, asked
Yeah.
for it. We didn't like raise it, right? We got this soccer team, actual gear. So, and then we coached them. And when I say we had kids from like Liberia that could actually play soccer. So I was just there to wrangle kids for soccer. But there were some kids on our team that like could legit play. And so we saw their first game. So then when we got back, obviously fitness kind of just kept coming into our lives.
Right.
We got back, and then it was after we got back, I knew that I was going to still do something with fitness, but I had no idea what it was. And then for my birthday, my wife got me a CrossFit certification course, because that was kind of the stuff that we were doing over there, because we had no equipment.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of people. Anyways, CrossFit, we just kind of started doing CrossFit, but I didn't know what it was. So then she got me my first certification or course to do it for my birthday.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks after I got that, I ran into a guy and he wanted to open a gym. And I had the certificate. Literally, I just had the certification. He had the money and wanted to open a CrossFit gym. Someone connected us, and that's how that happened. So I'm in this like gym now, and I'm looking around. I'm like, wait, I can't do muscle ups yet. And like, I'm just in this whole thing. So I was definitely in over my head, but that's how it started.
That is
Crazy.
awesome.
Yeah. And then
Right.
that gym, I got fired from that one. So let me tell you this. So
Nothing more fun.
oh, it's the best. So,
Good times.
so we had, I mean, we must have had like 300 members. And, but we had a bunch of different avenues of like, it wasn't just CrossFit. We had boot camp, turf room, whatever. However, right before whatever year of Thanksgiving, he calls me into the office. He goes, yeah. He goes, you're going to be done. I go, oh, explain a little bit more, could ya?
When you say done,
Yeah, that's what I was like. I'm like,
what are we talking here?
you mean Thanksgiving? I get like chill, or he goes, no, you're fired. Like, we don't need you anymore.
What?
And I go, okay, so what about like, so CrossFit? He goes, oh yeah, you can still have that. Just don't do it here. So I'm like, oh, great. So it was basically all I had was like my name on that.
Yeah.
Right. Like once you take away the facility,
Right.
I mean, well,
Right.
great. I have a name. So yeah, it was just like that. Boom. So then I started doing, that's when, if I ever showed you, it's called the box tour, like the next day. So I was sitting on the couch, kind of moping,
Pouting.
and just like confused. I don't know if I had cried yet.
Right? Mad. Like, what the?
Yeah.
What?
Well, and because that was paying all of our bills. I was the only one working.
Yeah.
Like it was the main, and
Your
now
main-
nothing. And I'm sitting there on the couch, and Anastasia goes, well, some people are going to want like a workout from you. What, are you just going to like sit there and not work out? I was just like, I just got fired. Like, give me. And then anyways,
Nice.
she talked me into, or not talked me into, but like the idea of we'll go work out somewhere, go find a park and make a workout, and
Yeah.
people will show up. So it was probably at like 5 p.m. that night. I wrote it up, sent out a message, and for the on the platforms that I was still able to 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 dial into, I still had our CrossFit page, um, but that was about it, right? No more like Wodify, all the like the logging system. So, anyways, I just did that, and I said, "All right, I'll be out at Lakefront." I think it was like 6 a.m. Box tour. Here we go. And I had no idea what to do. Sure enough, like 12 people showed up. That's when I cried. I remember that. They come up, they park, and then we worked out there for man, a couple weeks. Some days it was raining. People would bring their equipment, and I couldn't charge anyone because, well, I mean, I guess I could have, but like, what are you gonna charge? $10? Like what? I don't know. All doing it for free. Then oh, then another investor comes into my life. So that they find out that that I don't have a home. So then we moved that into Orlando, and it was another like huge place, 10,000 some square feet. And it was not long after that that we opened that, and we had moved into Apopka to be close to that, you know,
Yeah.
smart things. Just move. And my wife got a job. Oh, she was teaching. So as soon as I got fired, like within like days, she knew she was going to get a job, but I was still like so nervous. But anyway, so she started teaching in the new year, and that was in Apopka. That's why we moved over, and then the gym was in there. Anyways, shortly after I was coaching there, I could see the writing on the walls, like, I'm not doing this anymore. So then that's when I went home, just handed over the affiliate, and then went home with my kids because my wife, can you hear that ding when it dings? Oh, it's just me. It's just dinging. Someone's texting me. Stop. So she's working. She was like working 2 jobs, killing it. And it was basically killing her. And then our kids, like we're handing the kids back and forth. So
Right.
just one weekend, we switched. I stayed home with kids, both in diapers. So for 2 years, I was stay-at-home dad.
It's when DDC.
That's when DDC, Daddy Daycare, came. And that was for 2 years. Then my wife started working online, which opened up more space and time. And then that's when she asked me, "You go get a job?" Or,
What's up here?
yeah, what, are you just stay home with the kids all day? Or are you going to go work? We were definitely at a point where like I needed to like go back to work and do something.
Yeah.
But the schedule, we were very spoiled with, I got to be home with the kids.
Yeah.
So she asked me, if you could do anything and make this amount, what would you do? I was like, well, I would coach, but there's no way that's going to happen. So, anyways, I wrote it down. She goes, write it down exact. She's like helped me a lot through every like main thing. So I remember writing it down exactly what I needed to get. And the fitness community is rather small ish, like in the Orlando area. You can call a couple people and they can connect you. So I got connected with the box where I met you, and that guy was on his way out, and I was like, okay, well, I go, who's going to give me this many classes to be able to do this at these times? And then sure enough, that happened. And then that's when I met you all. And then just kind of like, I went to level 2 because I needed to. And then level 3 because my wife signed me up for the class. I was so scared for that test. I don't ever want to take that again. I hope. Dear God, I don't ever have to take that again. But that was CrossFit. That's how I got into it.
And now you're doing CrossFit?
Now I coach CrossFit.
CrossFit?
What's that?
Continued coaching CrossFit?
Continued coaching CrossFit. I think one of my biggest passions in fitness is more through, through some of the story, we own a company called United Trainers Association.
Right.
I won't get into how we went through all the partners for that. However, but that's just a normal, regular certification.
Right.
Weekend
Fitness certification.
fitness. It's not a specific protocol, although it is kind of old school. It talks a lot about like upper body, lower body. So like bodybuilding ish. That's like what it would give the examples of. But what I really like is people who want to get into the fitness industry, but they just don't think they're either good enough or ready. I like seeing those people like start. Does that make sense? So I like coaching, obviously, helping people get fit, but then someone who like wants to do it and then goes and helps other people, I get really jazzed up about that.
Yeah.
So like
So
when
that's
you
what you see yourself do, like if you could choose what's the next steps are, right? Like if you're
yeah.
dreaming and writing it down to make it happen,
Yes.
that it's like what you would make it into existence.
I think so. I just don't know exactly what that looks like. Yeah. I still love coaching CrossFit. I love the classes because I get to see more people at once. When I was doing full on personal training, that was fun. But I do like once I started getting into the bigger classes, I like the energy of that.
Yeah.
I like you get to see 15 people at once versus just one, you know. I like the people for one-on-one, someone who actually need help.
Yeah.
I desire that.
Do you like to work like that with one-on-one people?
I do now, like I'm getting back into it. Well, minimal. I'm definitely very cautious, like when I say I'm training people, because I can't, like with my 1, 2, maybe 3 people max, right?
Yeah, you're just economic about it. Like,
But I
just
do like
right.
I do like getting back into that. That's been kind of fun, like fueling a newer fire
Yeah.
because it's their specific path. That's pretty fun.
Cool.
And yeah, I think if I could just help others get into the fitness industry, but the fitness is just different all the time. So like whatever I think it is, it doesn't mean that's what it is. Like if they have an idea of what they want to do, and I think it's dumb or it won't work, it might be dumb and won't work. But if that gets them moving to like trying,
Yeah.
I want to have a platform to help those people.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? So even if like some overweight people want to be coaches, but their mindset is I want to do a walking clinic or walking, I want to coach that. And they're not there yet, but they see it, right? So then maybe they need either one-on-one coaching or maybe they need classes as they're going through. Because really a certification is not just, it doesn't make you anything.
Yeah.
Like I answered enough right answers to pass for them to give me the piece of paper.
Right. It's a piece of paper.
Right. And now I like the information that I studied.
I mean, it means a lot for a lot of people, but
Yeah.
it is, at the end of the day, a piece of paper. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I learned that like when we were doing for Super Slow, when we were in the studios, I would work right next along like the physical therapists and stuff, and that's their life.
Right.
However, that didn't always mean that they were the best like coach,
Right.
right? Or for this specific thing. And so that kind of opened my eyes. So they're definitely very smart and they're knowledgeable, but it doesn't always mean that that's everything. So people, even without said education, you can still do a lot.
Yeah.
You know? So
you just got to have your heart in the right place.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, as long as you're doing to for the well-being of the other person and for their growth,
Yeah.
that's, I guess that's all you really need. I
It
mean, it
really is.
and know what you're doing. That also helpful.
Well, yeah. So the knowledge part for sure. Um, I've definitely made a ton of mistakes along the way, especially like brand new CrossFit,
Yeah.
just like following random programs. But you gotta you gotta go through all that to
Right.
figure it out.
You learn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For
now,
sure.
like my saying is the fight against dad bod,
Yeah.
because that's just where I'm at. I'm a dad. We're busy. Our family's busy, but so is everyone else. And I'm literally just in the fight against dad bod. Sometimes I have pretty fit seasons. Sometimes it's not as fit, and I just try to stay not fat.
Right.
And it's real. It's like, here it
So
is.
explain to people what it is about your fight against that bud. Like what it is that you were. What is this movement that you talk about?
I don't know. So when we broke down for, it was like right around, it was during quarantine or something, wasn't it? When I started saying it, it was something when things totally changed in our life. So our normal routine was not our normal routine anymore, like where we worked out, when we could work out. And then I just remember telling you and telling people's like, bro, because like in my garage, I can't do, so if a program, I can't follow a specific program of CrossFit
Or whatever.
that has everything,
Right.
right? So you just got to modify it, make it up. And then, so then I just got in my head because I was very frustrated because, say, for PRs or the performance. And then I remember changing in my head. It's like, bro, you just need to not be fat right now. Just move, fight. And then fight against dad bod just kind of came out. And then that's helped me a lot personally.
Right. And then you're trying to help other dads.
Yeah, I really think, correct. I really think that will be one of my courses in United Trainers Association
Okay.
is, I don't know, it doesn't have to be dads. It could be any parent, but just like I relate to the dads who
Yeah, of course.
used to be able to like play or be an athlete
Uh-huh.
to whatever level, right? I say like I was an athlete, but someone who plays D1 football says I'm not an athlete, right? But like I was active,
Yeah.
so like to whatever level.
Yeah. For sure.
So to be able to still have that in your life, but not have that consume your life, I think that's like the sweet spot.
For
Because I don't
sure.
want to leave my whole family for the weekend to go play a basketball tournament that really means nothing.
Right.
But I want to be able to play basketball and not be so sore or
Hurt yourself like
hurt.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like it. That's awesome.
yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Willie Lee.
I
That's
definitely talk a lot.
you talk a lot. I felt
You,
like that too when I was talking about myself.
you did? Oh, but I like listening. It was good.
Yeah. So that is like super cool. And then we met each other and we started working together and now we're here.
Yeah, I really like this. And now there's two companies, like two friends, two companies heading in like the same direction of like just trying to help people.
There you go. Those are our sponsors of this week. Strong by Design and United Trainers Association.
I like that. They
That's
should be our sponsors.
right.
Let's get shirts.
I don't know what we're thinking about.
Boom. I'm writing it down. That's who we are.
That's who is sponsoring us.
Oh my
What-
gosh.
That's what happens when they put the two of us together.
Right. People right now, if they're still on here, their hand is in their head is in their hand. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe
Oh my goodness. Now is the time that they probably know I'm going to turn this off.
it. And scene. I like that. Let's get some shirts. I'll get a UTA shirt.
Yeah.
You get well, you have shirts. I like your shirts. I like your the long sleeve. That thing's cool.
Like a long sleeve. Yeah, it's just have our names on it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I just did it for me.
Yeah.
Well, Willie Lee. Well, now everyone knows the both of us. They know our backgrounds. They know what we're about. What are hopes and dreams for them and for us. And
Yeah.
from now on, we're gonna talk about fitness, nutrition, mindset, and whatever else we want to talk.
I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. So this is going live in 2 weeks again. We're gonna go live. Not this Wednesday, this next one.
We don't know our topic.
No, we
We'll
don't.
figure it out.
But maybe our listeners can help us. Right?
That would be good.
So if there is anyone listening to us till this point, what is that? What is that minute? How long are we here? 45?
I have no idea. I can't see.
Well,
It's a couple minutes for
let's
sure.
say 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And they want to send us suggestion, even if it's just like talk about fitness, talk about nutrition, talk about mindset. That would be helpful, right? Because then at least we have like a guidance on
Yeah.
where we should dip our toes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the people there, all the two of you, or maybe one of you, they're listening to us till this point. Send us to our Instagram. What is your Instagram, William?
United Trainers Association. It's
Boom.
Yeah.
At United
Oh,
Trainers.
yeah. So
So either send it to him or send it to mine. Mine is at Coach K, just the letter K, Damiani, Damiani. Mine is complicated. Yours is long and mine is complicated.
we're
Send-
really good at social media.
Even though I think that everyone that is listening to us have our,
If they made it this far, they can find us.
it's fine. Look for us, Karina and William, also known as Willie Lee.
Really, or Coach B. You're the only one that calls me Willie Lee. What do you mean, also known as?
Also known as Willie Lee. You can call him, like, if you're here until now, you can call him Willie Lee. It's fine.
Okay, fine, deal.
Okay, people. Thank you
Hey,
for listening to us. Oh, go.
they need to be number 6. Our number 6 one. Be a good human, like and subscribe.
Boom. Be a good human. Like and subscribe. And let your friends know that now that we stop blabbing about ourselves, we're going to start talking about serious shit. So, I didn't curse the whole thing.
You were so good.
I was so good. I needed to throw something right there.
All right.
Just to spice it up.
There you go. Be a good human. Like and subscribe. Hey, don't
Yeah.
hang up. I'm going to stop this. Don't hang up. All right. Bye.